Hello all, it's James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my content, and welcome to a new game, Out of Ore. So this is a game that's supposed to be about mining, running heavy machinery, making lots of money, etc, etc, except I'm going to throw that all out the window and play it very differently. So I want the game to be about mining, but I don't want it to be about heavy machinery. I want it to be about being out in the great outdoors, one man against the wilderness, trying to make his way through the sweat of his brow. I'm going to attempt to play Out of Ore with no vehicles. Let's see if it's possible. Let's see how it works. Let's see if it can be done. Am I completely crazy? Am I a bat crazy lunatic for even thinking about doing this? Well, let's see. So we're going to jump in to Out of Ore. We're going to go single player. We're going to create new game. I'm going to go to the wonderful land of Scandinavia in the game mode of well, I want to do hardcore, except I don't like having the fast XP gain. So I'm gonna go to standard. I'm gonna set my capital to 100. I'm gonna set my interest rate to high, just like hardcore. I'm going to set my XP gain to slow, unlike hardcore. I'm going to set my breakdowns to standard and my fuel consumption to high. So this is technically harder than hardcore. And we will call this the No Vehicle Challenge. We'll start up the game. Are you sure to start the No Vehicle Challenge? Confirm. So right now you guys know what I'm attempting to do. So if you're here to watch somebody run heavy equipment, well, this probably isn't the playthrough for you. But if you're here to watch somebody play this game completely different than everybody else, then hey, keep watching. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the possible quests that are here. And one of these quests is Firewatch. Evidently, they would like us to build a watchtower out here, and I think that's a perfect way to get started. So do you want to start the fire quest? Confirm. Why do I already have mining tier? Is this, I thought this was supposed to be a new game. I'm very confused. Alright, well, we've started Firewatch. I would love to know why I already have mining tier 3. So I was doing a little bit of testing and messing around to see if maybe this concept could work, and I didn't expect my progress to carry over to a new game. Why did that happen? General. I'd like to autosave that. I want XP gain to be slow, interest rate to be high, breakdown normal, fuel consumption high. Why did it not save my settings? Good question. And it didn't save my, oops. So most games you typically have a field of view somewhere around 74 to 72. So I just want to keep with what I'm used to in most games for a field of view. And view company. Reset. Okay, confirm. Does that reset the logo? How about reset company? How do I get rid of this progress I've made already? I don't... Come on, game. If you're going to start a new game, at least let me start a new game. This doesn't make sense in my mind. Reset. Reset company. Save. Create new company. Alright, exit to menu. Let's go to company, view company settings. Okay, we're back to level 1 now. Okay, and then single player, load game, the no vehicle challenge, confirm. Sorry about this, guys. I want this to, you know, you guys understand. I want to start from scratch with all of you. Okay, we're set back to level 1. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go grab that quest. The Firewatch quest, yes. And then let's start chopping some wood. Let's get in here a little closer. Alright, so there is one thing I've definitely discovered about this game that I don't like, and that is how long it takes to manufacture wooden items in the woodworking bench. It's a redonkulously long time. But XP seems to come fast, providing it still remembered my settings. I want low XP. XP came fast. Why does it keep changing that? Save. Yes, I might really be masochistic. What I'm setting out to do might be absolutely nuts, but we're gonna give it a go. We're just one man out here in the wilderness trying to get by with a simple hand tool and the sweat of his brow. Alright, for right now, let's go ahead and get our woodworking bench. So did the store to building. What is all this stuff? Workbenches. Yes. Woodworking bench, please. Seven. Alright, we're going to stick it down right about here. And we need to craft 60 wooden beams. So we will put 60 in here, and we will click wooden beam down here, and that's going to start 60. Yeah. So that's what's going to happen while we continue to cut more wood. Right now we're more of a lumberjack than a miner, and it's going to be that way for a little bit. Right, I think up here on top of this hillside is going to be the perfect place for a watchtower, as one would want the watchtower to have a nice field of view. We're going to make sure it's an unobstructed field of view by getting rid of all these trees. I feel like we're still leveling really fast. I'm gonna check and see if it... Yeah, it says slow, so I have to believe that it is correctly set. As you can see, it's taking quite a long time to manufacture those 60 wood beams in that woodworking bench. We gotta be getting pretty close here. No, not really. Well, we're gonna stick that in there for now. I'm probably gonna end up buying another woodworking bench just because of just how ungodly slow it takes. But for right now, I'm gonna hold off on that because I've noticed that if you have multiple workbenches, it can seemingly screw up the quest. So I want to get this quest done before I start mass manufacturing wooden stuff. So I'm thinking we're probably gonna build a mine by hand, old style mine. You know, where you used to dig into the side of a hill or a mountain. This is what we're gonna do in this game. And this hill that we're cutting the trees off of is probably the hill we're gonna dig into. So I'd like to find a nice, relatively steep portion of this hill. And that will kind of be the start of our mine shaft. So part of this I haven't figured out yet. I haven't gotten to that stage of testing, if you will, is how the sluice box and the just how is the sluice box and that type of thing going to work by hand. I know how people do it in the game by using machinery. They tend to get a hopper in which they pour the stuff into the hopper. Technically you can put stuff into the hopper by hand. It would be great if I could skip the hopper routine, because that seems like an extra piece of machinery that I necessarily wouldn't use if I'm, you know, mining by hand. Why wouldn't I just put it right into the sluice box, for instance? However, the sluice box in this game seems to not do, it's not like a wash plant, right? It's it seems to only do gems and gold and concrete. I don't know what concrete has to do with a sluice box, but sure. So there's probably a different piece of machinery, maybe a wash plant. Maybe there's, yeah, maybe that's what I want, is a wash plant. And can I get a really small one that would be more suitable for a person mining by hand? These are the questions I'm asking myself. Okay, second material I need is 45 wood planks, so I need to get back to my thing. I gotta listen for it. Here it is. Oh well, I can't listen for it if it's not building anything. Alright, 45 wood planks. 4, 5. Alright, we'll start that up. Yeah, down here seems like the lower point of the hillside. In fact, right in here might be where we're gonna start this mine shaft from. Like, we could dig right in there. Although this seems to be going lower yet. Actually, this is kind of looking like the spot. You know, we'll probably dig right about here, like straight into the hillside. And then, what the heck will we find? That's the next question. So there's quests for digging up certain items. And I think we'll probably select the quest that matches what we're digging. Like in my test run, when I dug into the hillside, I came across coal. And so if I picked a coal quest, I could have done that. So who knows what we're going to find when we dig into this hillside. And that will determine what quest we'll attempt to do. That makes sense. And I might get a storage box to store the things that we're not actively pursuing in our quest, because we'll probably end up digging up more than just whatever the quest item is. And yeah, I could just, you can sell most things like directly, like even this wood that I'm chopping, I could sell this directly off into a sell tab, and I wouldn't necessarily need to have storage then, but I don't want to do that. It kind of breaks the immersion, I think. You know, there's not going to be some magic dude coming out to my claim out here, or, you know, constantly picking up things I sell on a whim. So I'm going to want to sell in kind of like some more of a bulk situation. And that'll, you know, I'll imagine that somebody did come along out to this remote area to claim what I had just sold off. And all this wood's going to come in useful, because while I'm not going to have to do it technically, but I'm going to do it for immersion's sake, I am going to be reinforcing the mineshaft because of roleplay purposes, I suppose. Let's take down some of these trees over here. They're a little on the tall side. Might get in the way of the view of the watchtower. And maybe at some point we will eventually expand into machinery. Maybe we'll just call that like season 2 or something. But for right now, we are just a man with a pickaxe. Honestly, I wish I could start the game with $0. That would be my preferential start. And then, you know, the money that I make would determine if and when I ever expand into machinery. But sadly, I start with money. And yeah, that's kind of a problem. If I could just throw it out, I would. Oh yeah, we need to get back to that workbench and start manufacturing the next item. Okay, 20 wood sheets. So we are not currently a miner. Right now, we're on a contract, and our contract is to build this watchtower. And with this watchtower, the cash we get from it, we may get the idea that, you know, we could buy a claim out here to do some mining. Maybe even the government service that we worked for would recommend, hey, you know where you set up that watchtower? We have some claims for sale, and if you're interested, we'll give you the first crack at it. And my character will be like, you know, that's a great idea. I think I will grab that claim. What all goes into mining? Oh, there's a lot of stuff. First, you probably need a pickaxe. So that's how I'm envisioning this. That's the role play, if you will. We came out here to set up a watchtower. Once we get that watchtower set up, then the next stage of the story will unfold. We're gonna get, yeah, we'll get offered a claim here where we set up the watchtower at, below it, into the hillside. And that's where we'll start this whole shebang off at. Alright, the wood sheets have been manufactured. Alright, time to build the watchtower. Still going to take a little bit of time. Thankfully, we can carry like an entire forest in our pocket. That's a very useful skill. Yeah, this is a pretty neat game. I think it could be better with just some minor tweaks. Like for instance, a starting situation where you start with 0 dineros would make a lot of sense. It definitely could tweak the rate at which wooden building objects build in the workbench. That could do with a massive tweak. It takes far too long to build wooden items in the workbench. I'm currently deforesting the world just to, I don't know, occupy time while that workbench is functioning. In the future, we're going to get a second, maybe even a third workbench to speed up the process of manufacturing wooden items. Alright, we must be close to having it done up there, I would think. It is done. It didn't tell me it was done though. Okay. Alright, so yeah, this won't do. We need a nice level spot for a watchtower. Let's see what we can do about that. I find it completely hilarious that I can't dig with a shovel. The only thing I can seemingly do with a shovel is smooth things out. So I'm having a hard time let's see how that looks. Yeah, I'm not happy with it. We are going to have to build this up. So we're a proper contractor. We don't just throw up a random watchtower so that it floats in the air and looks like crap. No, no, no. We have to do things right. We got to make sure that there's proper supports and all of that. So we're going to need a lot of wood beams. By a lot, I mean a lot. So let's start queuing up the wood beams. Now, the next thing I want to know is, can I possibly move dirt? Is that a thing? If I grab a little bit of dirt here, now let's see if I can drop that dirt up here. Is there terraforming? I doubt there is, to be honest, but maybe it is a thing. Look at that. Oh, this is the cat's meow. I like it. Okay, let's this might be a better way of solving the problem than waiting for all of that wooden beams to build, which is only step one, because then I'll need wooden blocks after that. But I'm going to need those items anyway, so I might as well have a building. Alright, let's start whacking with the shovel. Starting to look a little better. we doing now? Better. Yeah, I don't quite feel like that's quite. Over here doesn't look so bad. Yeah, let's give this a try. It looks pretty solid, all things considered. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Okay, let's see how the view is. Yeah, great view. I can almost see somewhere through this fog. Alright, first major mission accomplished. Watchtower built. And I think right down there in that hole is where we're going to start our mining operation. So I believe I can take this, go over to this here workbench, open it up, all the stuff here into my inventory. And then if I hit the sledgehammer, I should get the workbench back. Yep. Good deal. Now, we're off to set up our the beginnings of our mining operation. So we've phoned in the watchtower. We got paid for the watchtower, and they told us about the mining claim here, and we bought it. We took advantage of it. And right here is where we're going to start that mining claim. So let's get the workbench out. Let's try to grid. Yeah, maybe grid will work better. Let's stick it there. Okay, in this particular workbench, we're going to build a whole bunch more wooden beams. about 300 of them? And then we're going to go to the store, and we're going to get ourselves another workbench. About there. And we'll go with, say, 300 planks. We'll just stick these in storage for now. So as those are working, we're going to dig into this mountainside, see what we find. Now actually, before I do this, we're going to go back to here. We're going to go to the store, and we're going to go to equipment, hand tools, fast pickaxe. Can we sell this? Alright. Can we pull that over here? Yeah, okay. So now we have a fast pickaxe. Ooh, that is fast. Probably going to need it since we're going to be doing a lot of this by hand. Now hopefully there's something in this dirt. We got pay dirt. That's exciting-ish. So with pay dirt, we need a way to transform it into gold, right? And we're finding some coal too. All right. what quests do we have available? Keep the lights on, sell the requested material to meet high demand and get an extra bonus on coal. Fire up the crusher, sell the requested material, meet gravel, copper ore, lithium, tree logs. Base load. Let's go with the keep the lights on. Okay. So it's the coal we're after then. So I wonder if there's physics in that if I dig this out too much it'll cave in. Be cool if there was, but I doubt it. But still we're going to simulate that there is, and we will put in supports and ceilings and stuff like that. Oh. It did cave in a bit. Okay, that was unexpected. Alright, well let's keep things a little more narrow then, for now. While we're waiting on all that wood to be turned into something useful. Wonder how you go to first person. Is it a matter of pressing V? No. C? Aha. I think for this type of mining, first person is going to be a little more useful. We are a coal mining. Now, obviously, this is gonna. Oh, felt like stuff was caving in there. It may have been, and we're kind of going upwards. Oofta. Yeah, I don't know if this game will cave in on me or not. Okay, what are we discovering here? What is that? Is that dirt? I'm hit. Is it pay? It's pay dirt. I mean, we don't really need pay dirt right now. We don't need gold, guys. We don't need gold. We need coal. We need black gold. We are now level 7. Right, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. I think we need to reinforce our mine shaft. Though I don't think we have the materials yet to do that. Are wooden beams placeable? Just curiosity. No, doesn't seem to be. It's an ingredient. Right, how do I split? There we go. Floors? Can we change the... Yeah. Okay, you can start making floors, and you can start making Grid build, no. Free build. Snap build, not really. Free build. Something like that. And then all these will snap on, or they should, if we change to snap, right? Yeah. So now it's a process of mining around this to make it easier to snap to it. There we go. Very nice. Whoops. Okay, we're going to temporarily snap that there. And then we're going to snap that in there. And we're going to go back to the sledgehammer. And get rid of the one in the middle. Is this wide enough? Just doesn't quite feel wide enough for a mine shaft, does it? I mean, if we went wider, it's going to get a little dangerous, in my opinion, but we're going to go wider, because I don't want to use that much wood. Not to mention we need the coal. And this mine shaft thing is more for the roleplay purposes anyway. I don't think the cave is actually gonna collapse on us. Fit one in there somehow. Didn't we have you for a second at some point? Yeah, there we are. Perfect. And then pow. Excellent. Whoa. Okay, we have floors in here, which I think we're going to use the floors as ceilings. Are we going to use them as ceilings? Yeah, but first Let's mine out a little bit of the ceiling first. Wish I could get you to sit more on top. I don't want you to be that low. We might have to put a second line in. Alright, well, we wait on that to build. There we go. I think that's gonna be perfect. Yes. There we are. It's starting to look like a mine shaft. Come on. There we go. Yeah, we're just a simple man living a simple life, waiting for the roof to collapse in on him. We're earning all these promotions and we're yet to drive any kind of truck. All right, we need about 15. $80. Whoa. Safety first. We need to be a safe miner. Oops. Oh, you stop doing stuff. That's not good. Let's just go with a bunch of wood beams. There we go. Mine shaft is complete. Now, I think from here, we can mine down. We should be able to move to safely mine downwards. Plant operator. Starting to feel like it's getting dark. Wonder if there's a, well, there's obviously a light, but can I use the light at the same time I'm mining? I can. Oh, well, that's sweet. Alright, how much coal did we need for the quest? I think we're probably there. No, we're not there. So we need 3986. We're getting close though. Alright, we are there now. So sell the requested material to meet the high demand and get an extra bonus. So we go to store, go to sell, pull the coal over, ooh, and that should have accomplished the quest. Very nice. Um, 10 of those. $20. Alright, it's starting to rain. Let's get in the mine so we don't get wet. down fairly good out here. Again, for those of you who are watching, this is not needed, I don't believe, but this is role play, because we're playing this game very differently than it normally is played. People usually use vehicles, bulldozers and excavators and front-end loaders. We're mining by hand. We're playing this game very oddly compared to other people. And because we are mining by hand, I am basically pretending that we need to enforce this mine shaft so it doesn't cave in on us. And this mine shaft might turn into our very first home. Yes, we as a miner, we may decide to live in a mine shaft. Seems apropos. All right. I think this is as good a spot as any to wrap up this episode. So this has been episode 1 of, what's this game called? Something dealing with ore. Out of ore. So in this episode we managed to build a watchtower, and then we managed to do our first coal mission. We've made about 30 grand since the beginning of the game, and yeah, things are coming along, I think, pretty smoothly. Anyway, please smash that like button, consider subscribing, and let me know in the comment fields just, you know, how much of a neat idea you think this playthrough is. Or you can also chime in on how much I'm wasting my time in this playthrough, and you want to see me play with vehicles like everybody else. However, I have a feeling there might be 1 or 2 of you out there that might think, aha, this is a neat idea, to actually play the game by hand with no vehicles. I wish I would have thought of that. Anyway, I'm James Johnson, aka Software. This is my content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If so, please smash that like button, consider subscribing, and until the next time, all, peace.